First off, how good are you at beer pong?
I think I'm pretty good, Barbara.
How good? On a scale of 1 to 10.
I'm gonna give myself a 7.5.
Oh, good, because I have a 10.
Oh, okay.
So you're going down.
Okay.
And I have a lot of money riding on this, about $700, because I took 7 bets for $100 each on me.
On you. Okay, is that how it works?
Yeah, I'm gonna make money. Okay, so we're gonna throw the ball, we each get a shot.
Okay.
And then if my ball goes in your cup, you have to ask me that question. If your ball goes in my cup, I ask you that question.
Great.
And I might turn the question around and ask it back when it's not my turn. You go first, you're the guest.
Oh, all right.
Thank God. Thank God you missed. If you got it in first off, I'd lose my count. Now watch this. Okay, would you mind putting that in for me?
Would you like me to?
Yeah. Put it in. Okay, ask that question. I'll return the favor.
Oh, this is how it works. This is how Barbara wins. All right, what's one part of your job that you hate?
Money. Don't know a thing about money, which is probably what you're good at, right? I know how to make money, but I can't manage it or know how to spend it.
But it doesn't interest you, I think.
Not at all. I go to sleep on any money topic. It's like, can we get this over with? But how about you? I'll turn on you.
Yeah, I think it's annoying when people just talk about money. You got to talk about the idea of something.
But how about you? In your job, you're responsible for the money as a CEO, right? So you'd have to be good at money.
I'm good at managing money.
Ah, then you're my opposite.
Maybe, I don't know though, because I think it's about people. We should get married.
I'll make the money and you manage it.
Fine, that's great. I'm in.
What's your next question there?
Ooh, what's worth fighting for and what do you let pass?
I only fight for things that matter, which is family and love and friendship. I've learned that over the years. I let anything else pass because it's all bullshit, doesn't amount to anything. It doesn't have meaning in your life in the end. Okay. You feel so at the time, but as time goes on, you realize there's no meaning in anything else. It's really what counts. So I reverse that on you. How about you?
I'm still learning how not to fight.
It's your nature, right?
People just piss you off and then you're just like, or people are worth fighting for.
So if somebody's leaving?
No, if people are treated poorly, I hate that. It makes me crazy. People don't try to do the right thing.
So what do you mean fighting for them? Like making sure they have a fair shake?
Yeah, making sure they have a fair shake. Making sure you do things right. Doing things the right way is worth fighting for.
That is worth fighting for.
You know, being part of something bigger is worth fighting for. The mission is worth fighting for.
And I never really thought about it, but with regards to people, I would fight for a person's job or their respect or something if I believed in them. If not, I would just let it go by.
Right. In that case, you do let it pass. I agree with letting it pass.
Okay, take another shot.
There.
Wow, nice one, right in the middle. Okay, here we go. What's your secret sauce for finding the right people? Good question.
Initiative.
Initiative.
I care about initiative. I don't care where you went to school. I don't care what your grades were in particular. I don't really care where you work, but I care that you've shown initiative. Like you care about something, you're passionate, and you took initiative on it.
So how do you get that out in an interview? You ask people for examples?
Yeah, you ask people for examples. You ask what motivates them. You ask what they've done.
Why is that so important? Because everybody's in a team, and they can't be everybody as a leader.
Right.
So if you lack initiative, but you're willing to be a team player and follow the leader and put your heart and soul, and I would think that would be great.
I think that is great. I think you can have initiative, though. It doesn't mean you have to be the leader, but it means that you want to have progress. And I care about people that want to make things happen.
Because they move the needle.
Yeah, because they move the needle.
And what happens when you hire somebody who doesn't have initiative?
They don't last very long.
How do you fire people?
Oh, firing people is the worst. You got to be honest, and you've got to be forthright, and you've got to be swift. So I think the other piece of it, you have to set expectations with people, because if you don't set expectations, I'm only going to disappoint you, and you're only going to disappoint me.
Yeah, it's like being a dirty player.
Exactly.
Has there ever been anyone who has come back and say, listen, I could change, I could be different in the way you're criticizing me. Let me turn around, give me another shot.
Yes.
And?
Very rarely does it work.
But does it work for you? Do you say, okay?
Rarely I will say yes. Look, I think the worst thing is if you're in a job that you're not good at or that isn't good for you, and both those things usually go together, pretending you are, it's just painful. Like, let's put everybody out of their misery. But you know, the other thing is people have good feedback. You know, you got to do exit interviews. You got to ask people their feedback, because very often it's more telling about you and the people you've surrounded yourself with, where maybe you need to make some change. And I'm very sensitive to that.
So you wouldn't change your decision to let them go?
Probably not.
Yeah, just it's over. When it's over with you,
if we've
it's
gotten
over.
to that point, it's over.
Yeah.
But before you get to that point, you should have the stops in the road where maybe you are trying to make it work.
Yeah. I had a great advantage being in charge of a sales team on a commission basis. I had maybe 150 employees, but I had 1,000 salespeople. They were my bread and butter. Yeah. But with them, I had a great thing, which you couldn't do with your employees because they're not commissioned salespeople. I would say to them, listen, in 3 months, I expect you to make one deal. If you can't make a deal in 3 months, you're not meant for sales. So they usually fired themselves before I brought them in. So it was kind of nice, you know, clarity, this is what I want. Yes. And anybody could count a deal on that.
Yes.
You know, so it kind of worked. Yeah.
I agree with that. I think positions where the results are binary, like you did it or you didn't do it, it makes everybody, it takes the emotion out of it.
Got it. Okay, good. I'm going to throw one to you. I hope I get a really
hope you can get it,
easy
right?
question. Okay, good.
Oh, hey, you got it.
I tricked you. I was aiming for that one.
Trick me.
I was aiming for that one.
You did trick me. Okay. Ooh, if you could, what would you change about your past?
I would probably leave Ramon Simone when he cheated on me a year earlier and started my second company. Yeah, okay. I waited too long. Wasted time. I don't know. I just didn't have the confidence. Okay.
Oh, terrible shot, Barbara. Sorry.
What's been the biggest challenge in running a business?
People embracing change. I think getting people to want to change and not afraid of change is so hard.
So give me an example of trying to do that recently where you didn't get the reception you wanted.
Sure. So we are trying to change our company all the time.
And I also say, incredible what you've done with it.
I mean,
it just keeps blowing up on itself.
Because we change all the time. But people, the bigger you get, the harder it is to change, I find. Like, it was very easy for us to pivot all the time when it was very small. And now we have 400 people, so it's much harder. And I think people sometimes give lip service to wanting to do things differently, but they really don't want to. And that's hard. It's frustrating because there's so much tied into it. Your insecurities or your apprehensions, or you disagree with where it's going, or you liked it better like it was. So that takes a lot of time.
So Erika, let's say that you wanted to make a left turn for your whole business. You presented to the whole group and have you ever thought of breaking it down to smaller groups?
Totally. I think it requires, I'm a media person, so I tend to think about things in media. I think you have to have a vision and you have to make it compelling. You have to explain the why, like why are we making a left turn? And you have to say it in a way I think that people can buy into. But then it's frequency. You've got to, I've made this mistake so many times where you think you say it once and it's done. You have to say it 100 times.
Say it differently each time?
Say it differently, but you always have to hit the same things.
The same beats. Yeah. But give me a poor version of you trying to sell something on a left turn and then how you trimmed it up to sell it.
And so we shared, all right, the new org chart is going to be this. It used to look like this. It's now going to look like this. And the focus is all the boxes, who's reporting to who. And people have a terrible visceral reaction to that because it's not inspiring. You're saying, okay, the change is I used to report to this girl and now I report to that guy.
They see it more as control.
They see it more as control and limiting. And they're 100% right. The way that I've found is better to do it, or at least for us, is here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be the fastest growing creator media brand on the planet. If we want to do that, we have to do things differently. And this is how we would do things to hit that vision.
One line I use constantly when I wanted to get people to come along with my ideas, which they didn't want to do, is I used to say what it was, and now let me tell you why it's good for you.
Yeah.
I start every speech with, and let me tell you why it's good for you.
I love that. Have you ever heard of the 94%?
No, I haven't.
So the 94% is that when a person is faced with something, a change, a decision, 94 at work, but probably in life, 94% of the decision is how it affects you.
Oh, I believe it's true, if not 100%.
That's right. So when you're making a big change for your company, they're like, how does it affect me?
Yeah, that's all I care about.
Yeah, that's all anybody cares about.
I even do that running my business. You probably do. You think, is this worth it?
Is this what I want to do?
I want to do this?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, got it. I'm picking in a second one because you've got two didn't get in, but we're pretending you got it in. What's it like? Oh, good one. What's it like working with all those boys? Really?
Oh, they're so fun. I love those boys.
Do you rather work with men than women?
I find men easier in some ways. I think men have this oddly an ability to fight and then be fine, and women aren't able to fight and be fine.
Wow.
It's longer. It's more
Injurious. If there's such a word.
It's more injurious. It's more sensitive. It's more tripped up in all sorts of things. I think women think about who they are, what they are, how people perceive them at work, and men just do work.
But you find that's consistent between men and women?
I think men have their own issues.
Like what? Throw a few out there, please.
I think men have often a hard time confronting other men.
Oh.
I think that's a weird dynamic. I think women are more expressive and communicative, which makes working with women really wonderful. Like that they're so, the desire to create connections with other people is so palpable. I don't really think about my gender at work, which is I think what's made us what has been helpful to us. And I don't know that people think about their gender at work, and I would want people to feel that way, that you could be sensitive one day. You know, the guys at Barstool cry all the time.
No way. Those big guys with all those muscles?
So sensitive, yeah.
Would you have women cry at work?
Not really.
Wow. And that's a misnomer because everybody thinks a woman cries at work. I've had women cry on me, but never a man. I thought everybody was that way.
Way more men cry to me than women.
Okay. You know what I find about men that is a detriment to the workforce is men can be territorial. Yeah. It's hard to change territories, whereas women roll right over. And what I like about women at work is they are better team players overall, I think.
I think so.
But to your point, it's easy to work with men. You see what you got, they're less complicated, and they move on better.
Yes, and it's more transparent. It's more superficial.
Yes, exactly.
Or on the surface.
1, 2, 3. Oh. Wow.
You still get the point, Barbara. I'll give it to you.
No, you get a double point. How do you deal with gossip, and is it important?
Oh, I hate gossip.
Yeah.
I hate
so what
gossip.
Do you do with it?
I just hate it. I ignore it and shut it down. I hate gossip.
How do you shut down gossip? It has a life of its own.
I think that gossip is like the worst thing in the workplace.
Why?
Because it's like idle. If you're spending your time gossiping at work, you're not contributing to something at work. And most often you're like just making somebody else feel bad. Mm-hmm. I don't like that.
You don't think there's exciting gossip? I love exciting gossip.
I love other people's gossip. You like it?
I like it. Okay. Yeah, I find it interesting. And very often there's a hook inside gossip that's really a complaint that's hidden.
Yeah, that's right.
So I like to look for the complaint and what's going on wrong. Okay. So it's often a warning thing, yeah. And you know what I did that was so helpful and took me years to figure it out? I would pick up someone in my force who everybody respected who liked to gossip. Don't tell anybody, Jody, but I just want you to know, because I love your opinion, blah, 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 blah. And I would know within 2 hours the whole company knew. Yeah. I could run meetings, announce it and everything, but it went.
You're like the single best marketing vehicle I have.
You got it. A gossiper.
That's smart. It's efficient.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't like gossip. You ought to.
I don't love gossip.
Lean in. You ought to lean in on gossip.
I don't know. I just feel like what we're trying to build is so special. Like, spend your time trying to build it. But it is human nature. I agree with that.
You know what I'm going to do after you leave here? I'm going to send a ton of emails to your people and spread rumors.
Yeah, you should. And I'll be like, you've been talking to my friend
I'll say,
Barbara
don't worry
Corcoran.
about your boss. She's going to get used to it.
Tell me about a real fear you've overcome.
For me, I was deathly afraid of reading out loud in front of peers because I couldn't read. Okay. And I figured I was going to get nailed one day in business and someone was going to ask me to read out loud. I couldn't picture the circumstance.
But you knew it might happen.
I felt it would happen in my bones. I felt it would happen in every situation I was with, sitting at a table with grown-ups. I figured, this might be it. This might be it. And worked around that for so long. And then one day, someone said, you read the marketing notes. It was an association of real estate agents from around the world. You read the notes. And I took it and I said, you read the notes, Jay. I passed it on and I got over my fear. You just need a clever out.
You just need a clever answer.
You read it, Jay.
And did Jay read it?
Jay could read well.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's stupid to have a fear. It should have come up much sooner. I would have found the solution, not worried about it. I never worried about it again. You could ask me to read out loud. I would ask the dog to read instead of me.
Still to this day or no?
Yeah, it's still to this day, very slow. I mean, I could read, but I would sound dumb, and I didn't want to look dumb with you.
Oh.
Whoa, in. I would do that one. Here we go. Tell me about something you had to learn the hard way.
I think that restraint, I had to learn the hard way. Like, I'm very passionate and I would react. Not respond. And that's hard for me.
But reacting is great if you're working on your gut, don't you think?
It can be, but you have to find a way to harness it. And it took me a really long time to do that. I'm still working on that.
And how do you do it?
The world is like literally in your fingertips right now. Like, you can text somebody, you can call somebody, you can send a Slack, you can send an email. So it's easy to react. And I was prone to doing that. Like, someone would tell me something, it would make me mad, I would want it fixed, and then I would do it right away. And now I try to sit on things for a little bit and I make myself a list. And then if I still care about it later, then I'll.
So what's later, the next day?
Last one, let's go. You can make it. Very good.
Right in the center. I'm getting good at this. I knew it.
Who at work would you not want to get stuck on a desert island with?
It's funny. You know who I thought of? Who I want? I thought you were going to say you do want to get stuck.
Okay, we can change it.
Can we change it? Yeah. I would love to be on an island with Mark Cuban.
Why? Because he's cute?
No, because he has a helicopter that would rescue us, a jet plane.
Okay, fine. Okay.
But you know who I wouldn't want to be on that island with, if that was the real question? Who you wouldn't? Yeah. I wouldn't want to be on the island with the sharks, any of them, because they would all take credit, and I'd be the one that would bring the meal.
Okay,
go out hunting,
would be like,
and they, oh, well, we got this. They wouldn't do a thing. I would be the one killing myself to bring the meal.
all right. Then they'd probably eat you.
No, I would think they're that bad. No, not at all. The nice guys.
You also wouldn't be that much to eat. Like, if someone's going to eat somebody on the island, they're not picking you. Yeah, it's 100%. Oh, for me, who I wouldn't want to be stuck on a desert island with, that you have to come work at Barstool for a day.
Okay.
That's actually the version of this show we should do. Can we do that? Yeah. Why don't you come at my job for a day?
Can I have your job for a day?
Definitely.
Seriously?
Yep, and you can pick who doesn't get on the island after the day.
Okay, and you know what else? I'll give myself a big salary for the day.
As you should. Oh, I would like to be on the island. Dave would be fun to be on the island with, because Dave Portnoy would just make you laugh. And
yeah, he's a free spirit.
He's funny. Yeah, he's a free spirit. I would not want to be on the island, I think, with like the security guy. You know?
Of course not.
You're gonna run out of shit to talk about. Ah, terrible.
You got it in.
There we go.
Whoa. What part has luck played in your career? Good question.
Huge.
Like, give me an example. Your first lucky break in your career.
Oh, I got... The fact I got a job was luck, you know? My first job was lucky.
I didn't wonderful.
Oh, I was a receptionist. I was so grateful to have the job. I was just so... Of all the kids applying for a job, I got a job.
But that's not luck. You interviewed, you got it on your merit.
Maybe, but I always think luck plays a little bit into everything, you know? Yes. I was lucky to get the Barstool job.
Well, how did that happen?
I mean, I worked hard for it, but it was also, it's like kismet. It's like you put yourself in the right place and then you just hope something good can happen.
But you were there, you've been in your job for 6 years. How long did you work there before you got the job offer for CEO?
I really started working at Barstool probably the day I interviewed. Like, I started from the day I interviewed. Yeah, they needed a lot of help.
Yeah, and you knew it, and you had to persuade your boss.
Yeah, to
that
hire me.
You could change things around, right?
Yeah, that's right. And make something happen.
What did you say? What was your big comment that won him over?
Is what I didn't say. I didn't tell them that I would change them.
So you didn't share that vision?
No, I did.
Oh, you did share the vision, and he bought into the vision.
Yeah, that's right.
Your boss saw it through your eyes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and did you mean it, or were you just bullshitting?
I mean, it was like 80% mean it, 20% bullshit.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. That's about the right ratio.
Yeah. Maybe a little higher on the bullshit side, but.
Okay, that's a good answer.
All right.
Do you know the best question I was asked in an interview by someone? She was perfect for the social media job. I interviewed her, but she talked like she would never shut the fuck up.
Oh, I hate that.
I do too. Okay. I really hated it.
Yep.
So I was very polite, and I realized she had all the qualifications for the job. There was nobody better. We had done extensive interviewing. And then she said to me, she said, is there anything standing in the way of you hiring me? Almost like she could read my mind. And I said, yes, you talk too goddamn much.
Did you say that?
You drive me crazy.
Yeah.
You drive me crazy. And she said, my mother and my sister say that about me too. You could put me in a corner. I wouldn't say a thing. I'll be busy on social media. I wouldn't say a word. Hire me. And I did.
And did she do it?
She never says a word. I have to say, please talk a little, because she's so busy doing social media, she doesn't have time to talk. But what a great question for someone in a job interview to ask, is anything in the way? I would never have that courage.
So, but that's good to ask the question.
Nobody asks that question. I've interviewed millions, well, thousands, hundreds, tens of thousands of people in my life. No one has ever said, is there anything in the way? What a great closing question.
Yeah, that is a great closing question.
Right? I tell everybody that. Anybody who's young, ask the question.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
So nice.
So nice. I adore you.
So nice. I adore you back.
Thank you.